This past summer, I decided to get ripped. Like, jacked. How was I gonna do this? Yoga. Let's just say, well, it paid off. I mean, who needs to train for American Ninja Warrior when you could just do a warrior pose? Now I know what you're thinking. Devan, that's a bit of a stretch. But actually, yoga is metaphysical, intention-oriented, and teaches you focus, balance, and power. And my yoga and mindfulness came in handy when I read an article by journalists Hannah Todd and Eliza Mark. They explained that compared to white European immigrants, the children of Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Latinx immigrants have significantly higher rates of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. I needed a few yoga breaths after hearing that. But the problem is, the combination of existing as an immigrant and an adolescent puts unimaginable pressures on children because of a cultural divide between generations, which ultimately leaves a particular group of people without support. Our nation is supposed to be a nation of immigrants. So why is it that so many of immigrants of color struggle with mental health and finding a sense of belonging? We must find an answer, because with asylum seekers, refugees, and those searching for the American dream, the number of second-generation immigrants will only continue to grow. So let's first examine why we overlook immigrant kids' mental health, then understand the effects of our ignorance, and finally, identify some solutions we can take. My favorite comedian ever is Hassan Minaj. Why? Because he just speaks the truth. He says, for us South Asian kids, a good slapping makes us resilient, which is why we become cardiologists and win spelling bees. And that's the first cause, the dynamics of immigrant families. Immigrant parents have extraordinarily high expectations. After all, they sacrifice their livelihood for their children. According to the Institute for Family Studies, 91% of immigrant parents expect their children to get a college degree, and 57% expect them to pursue graduate or professional degrees, whereas only 72% and 36% of native-born parents expect the same. Further, these children often act as cultural and language brokers for their family's collective survival. Filling out your family's tax forms, or acting as a translator at your own parent-teacher conference forces a child to take on numerous parental responsibilities. Immigrants strive to achieve the American dream, but for their kids, it's the American nightmare. The second cause is the stigmatization of mental health in immigrant communities. Catherine Ponte from the National Alliance on Mental Health explains that in many immigrant communities, mental health concerns are actively ignored. Many Asian cultures view mental illness as a source of shame. And Latino immigrants often report a fear of becoming a social outcast after clinical diagnosis. Further, these communities tend to internalize the struggles of one child as a reflection upon themselves. An article from the Journal of Sociology of Education reported that the group of Vietnamese immigrants studied viewed the failure of their child as all-encompassing, a failure of not just their family, but the community they built in America. These communities exemplify the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. So when one of those children seeks help outside the community, everybody's left asking, where did we go wrong? In order for these children of immigrants to have that perfect American success story, we can't ignore one crucial chapter of that story, their well-being. When we define success, not based on our kids' mental health, but purely their finances and careers, the effects are costly. I want you all to close your eyes and picture in your mind's eye a psychologist, psychiatrist, or therapist. What do they look like? Are they white? Do they look like your 6th grade history teacher? Chances are pretty good. Because according to the American Psychology Association, 86% of therapists are white. seeing a mental health professional who really gets you, your struggles, and your cultural identity is critical for effective treatment. But when only 5% of mental health providers are Asian, 5% are Latinx, and only 2% are Black, we are effectively saying that mental health treatment as a patient or practitioner is reserved for white people. Consider when 23-time Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps disclosed his struggles with anxiety. Articles praised him for bringing awareness to mental health issues across the globe. Yet when 4-time tennis major champion Naomi Osaka, a Japanese immigrant, disclosed her mental health struggles during the 2020 French Open, she was berated by critics who told her that she withdrew at the wrong time. She did it the wrong way, and even that she was the wrong person with the wrong kind of problem. Both Phelps and Osaka were incredibly brave in their choices, but we chose to validate one and not the other. As Osaka shows us, the mental health crisis among children of immigrants is not looming. It's here. Hannah Todd and Eliza Martin explain that the prevalence of psychological distress among immigrant children is nearly double that of their first-generation parents. And since it's nearly double that of their first-generation parents, this makes it even more difficult with more restrictive immigration policies for undocumented families. Take Christian Avila and his siblings. As children of undocumented families, they feel that they need to track their mother's every move. They know exactly how long it takes her to go grocery shopping or complete her house cleaning jobs. They worry when she doesn't answer the phone. We've created a dynamic that equates a missed phone call with the possibility of never seeing your parents again. Yet, these children feel that their mental health struggles are trivial in comparison to the trauma of their parents. This shame leads many children to only seeking treatment when their struggles have become a full-blown mental health crisis. So let's talk about one of these crises. The Uvalde shooting at Robb Elementary School took 19 students from a predominantly immigrant community. News headlines focused on the shooter's mental state. But whose mental health is more important? The shooters or the community left behind? In the wake of tragedy, we must eliminate the barriers that prevent children of immigrants from finding the support they need. The necessary shift to online therapy during the pandemic may better serve the mental health needs of children of immigrants. In 2020, Senegalese immigrant Eric Colley founded Ayana Therapy, an online service that connects patients with culturally competent therapists. And these children when they are connected with these culturally competent therapists, they're able to have difficult conversations with their parents and even unravel stigmas about mental health in their communities. Immigrant communities in America have long been just that, communities. These groups form out of shared experience and struggle and confront their unique challenges together. To support the Uvalde survivors and all second-generation immigrants, we need a country that strives to be more like those communities. They rely on each other in a way that is so beautiful, yet deeply foreign to most of us. Right now, the most un-American thing you can do is know your own neighbor. We have to do better. You have to care about the person sitting next to you, and you have to know that the person sitting next to you cares about you too. Because while it may take a village to raise a child, it takes a community to heal them. Many people don't believe me when I say that yoga makes me physically stronger. It clearly does, but it's definitely made me mentally stronger. Meditate on this. Instead of asking an immigrant to adopt an American mindset, let's all try adopting an immigrant mindset instead. Because the only way to cultivate true inner peace is to do it together.